I don't think there's been a time in the history of our nation when men have been more stuck than they are today. I think they find themselves paralyzed between the steps of adolescence and manhood, not knowing how to fully step up to pure manhood as God designed it. When I wrote the book, I was thinking about young men who needed to step up and become responsible men. I was thinking about men who needed to assume the responsibility of being a mentor, and those who are mentors who need to set their sights on being a patriarch. We designed Stepping Up to help men step up in all walks of life. But we never imagined in our wildest imaginations that it would go where it ended up. When the story came back of a group of men who wanted to go through this, in fact, where there was a waiting list of guys in a prison who wanted to go through this, that's when I became excited about going and visiting and seeing the graduation. And I wanted to hear, what does a man who is incarcerated get out of a resource like Stepping Up?
I'm impressed with everyone that's here tonight because every one of you have made a commitment to go through the entire 10-week course in the Stepping Up program.
Guys, we've been on an incredible journey, 10 weeks, and here we are tonight at our graduation. Tonight is a turning point. What are they going to say about you? What does the end look like? Let's watch session 10.
I've been a state chaplain for about 13 or 14 years. I have known for many, many years the absence of father in many of these inmates' lives when they were growing up has brought us to a place where a lot of our guys are not really learning what it means to be a man.
One of the things I did before I went to Wrightsville is I called a friend who had been incarcerated. And I asked him, I said, "Coach me, I've never been to prison. What do I need to do with these men?" And I will never forget, as long as I live, what he said to me. These men are the lepers of our day. They feel devalued, they feel forgotten, they feel shunned. He said the most important thing you can do, Dennis, is to go shake their hands, look them in the eye, tell them you're proud of them, and to hug them.
All right, how about give it up for Dennis Rainey?
I'm here to tell you, I am just as broken as you are as a man. You don't know everything I've done. I don't know everything you've done. But he can use your transformed life in prison, and he can use your brokenness and mine for his purposes. But first, you got to step up.
My name is Glenn Cole. I've been incarcerated now 17 and a half years. You know, we have our own definition of what man is, but since I've been in the Stepping Up program, I have really understood what manhood is really all about. I made a decision that I was gonna make a stand and be a courageous man and walk with Jesus Christ. No matter what my friends think, my family think, I was gonna do that. Now since I know the definition of what a man really is, and that's what I'm gonna be.
My name's Doug Wilson. I've been incarcerated for more than 20 years now. You see, when I was growing up, my dad didn't know how to be a spiritual leader, and I never got to hear my dad pray. And that's one thing I always wondered, what would my dad have sounded like if I ever heard him pray?
This program has shown me, I think like a lot of men in here who haven't had dads or the proper father figure, that it's okay to to be kind, that doesn't make you weak.
I had my own interpretation of what a man was, but as I continued to go through this program, I actually learned that I was the furthest thing from a man. Thank y'all for showing me the direction and how to be a better husband, a better father, and a better person as a man.
My father and my stepfather taught me a lot of good things in life, but the one thing they didn't teach me is the steps that it took to go from being a child to a patriarch. And that's what this program has done to me, was show me the steps that I need to take.
My name is Patrick Davis. I've been incarcerated for 5 years. And what I'm about to say may sound crazy to some of you all, and it may not, but I just want to thank God for being here.
I don't know who paid for the books or the videos. I just like to thank them because it had a major impact in my life.
I haven't been in prison very long, but I realized the most courageous thing I've ever done was 6 months ago when I made the decision to serve the Lord while I'm in prison, do the right thing.
When I seen the Stepping Up program and the people that turned out, the word come alive to me in that area, that all men, you have a calling.
My name is Robert Williams. I'm 22 years of age, and I've always been searching for a guide to be a man. And this program, in this class, has helped us.
Today I want to cut the cycle, and I want to be a better dad for my children, and so they don't have to go through the same thing.
And many of us have learned, to be true with ourselves, to have integrity and honesty, and to step up and accept the very things within us that we dealt with maybe for decades. Thank the Lord for what He's done in all our lives.
With all that being said, everyone continue to step up and do what's right, because we have little ones out there that look up to us.
And here is the quote by Chuck Colson I leave you guys with. Remain at your post and do your duty for the glory of God and His kingdom. The cool thing about these men is you can see the hope that stepping up brought them, because as they surrendered to Christ and bowed down to Him, they received a purpose even in the midst of being incarcerated. The interesting thing is, after I came back from Wrightsville and the graduation, there was a letter waiting on me in my office. Dear Mr. Rainey and Family Life, my name is Joshua Gilbert. I am in my 13th year of a 21-year prison term in Washington State. I heard about your Stepping Up video series from my dad. We currently have a group of about 30 men who meet every week that are open to trying this series. And in the future, I could probably get quite a few others to join. In fact, I can make a lot of guys watch it. I love that. Thank you for your ministry, and I'm excited to hear from you. God bless. Joshua. I think there are a lot of Joshuas around the country who, if given the opportunity, would host a Stepping Up video series, because I think men in prison are hungry to become real men. Maybe more so than men in the church, because they recognize how they failed. I recently spent a few minutes with a group of chaplains. It was interesting to hear these men and women's vision for the men and women who are incarcerated.
I think about the scripture when Jesus says, the same thing you do to the least of these, you do it to me.
I need volunteers that just don't want to come and preach.
There's a huge need for encouragement and to restore some dignity.
They want to be better men. They want people to challenge them to do better.
We want a small group, we want a Sunday school, we want a whole church if necessary. They will say, hey, yeah, we want to come on board.
When you start noticing that men are changing and the way they talk, the way they walk is different, then you know that program is making an impact on their lives.
And if we can get a hold to a program that will cause them to step up, so to speak, to do what God would have them to do, to be that man, to be that woman, to be that mother, that father, that son, or that viable citizen, then we don't have to worry about them coming back to prison.
Most of those men in prison just need another man to show up in their lives. And it may be to shake their hand and look them in the eye and to tell them you're proud of them, or it may mean a hug, or it may mean weeping with them about their own errors and mistakes and helping them get a plan for their life. But I think men, regardless of whether they're in prison or at the top of the heap in corporate America, need other men in their lives calling them up and away from childish ways, which every man can step back into at any time in his life.